Yes, people, welcome back to another video. Hope you're all doing very well during the transfer window. The Euros is coming to an end this Sunday, and I have to admit, I'm kind of glad that the international football, it's not really for me. I'm actually actively looking forward to pre-season. Yeah, I'm looking forward to pre-season. I'm going to America. Apparently, I'm going to watch Arsenal, Man United in pre-season. But look, football's football. City will be back for all of us to watch. Hit the like on this video and subscribe if you're new around here. All of your support really does help during this time when there's no football on and there's not a huge amount to talk about. And when there's not a lot to talk about, us as football fans, we find stuff to talk about. And we generally find stuff to complain about, yeah? The transfer window, it's always a point of controversy, anger, confusion, and disruption, yeah? When I say disruption, I mean clubs signing players that puts other clubs, in a point of fear, which hasn't happened yet, Man United just signed Weghorst's backup the other day, so well done to them, congratulations on that. But as far as big blockbuster transfers go, there's not many happening so far, and they probably won't happen. They generally don't happen as much as you would like them to, and from our point of view, we generally don't do them. With the exception of Erling Haaland, City don't tend to make blockbuster transfers. So for all of you shouting, get Musiala, get Florian Wirtz, get whoever the big names are, I unfortunately, I hate to say it to you, it's not going to happen. At least not this summer. I do anticipate that next summer City will go into we need to pull big this summer. We need to bring in some big names because I don't know about the end of a cycle, but I think we'll go through a proper transition period. I know we've said last season and the season before have all been transition periods, but it's just a credit to the club on how well they've done at, refreshing and retaining hunger levels and not allowing a brick wall to be hit. But as far as this season goes, I see a lot of people worried over the business City are or aren't doing. A lot of you aren't satisfied with the lack of links, and when there's a lack of links, we like to create links. I see a lot of people talking about, get Joshua Kimmich, he's the guy. No links to him. there's no links to Joshua Kimmich, and for those of you who know me, whenever I hear anything that's ITK, I'm not on ITK, but whenever I hear anything, I tell you, there's nothing linking us to Joshua Kimmich other than us saying, He wants to potentially move away. He's at a decent fee. We need someone in his position. Go and get him. Bruno G was kind of the one for me. Excuse the rhymes, you know what I'm saying? Bruno G was the one for me. Still think he could be. I know for a fact that's still not closed. That situation is not closed. And then people talk about the attacking areas of the pitch. And for a couple of weeks there, I understood the stress, I suppose, over the attacking area of the pitch. We bring in Savio, who's this really unproven, by all accounts, at the top level of football. I know he's played for Brazil, and I know he's played in La Liga against Madrids and Barcelonas, and by all accounts done a really, really good job. But with all due respect to Girona, going from Girona and La Liga to Manchester City in the Premier League with the objectives and expectations we have, it's a massive leap. It's a massive leap. So you're bringing him in, very excited to see him, genuinely really looking forward to seeing what this kid can bring in. And then we have, of course, Oscar Bob, Bernardo, Grealish, Doku, De Bruyne, Foden. And then you got Haaland and Alvarez up top, but they're the strikers, you know what I'm saying? The thing that I got was, I was like, look, I look at previous seasons, the formidable season, even the treble season, of course, when you've had players like Mahrez on one wing, you've had your Grealishes on the other wing, you've had Bernardo's, Foden's playing on the wing, and then in midfield you have, say, De Bruyne, Bernardo, Gundogan, whoever. It always felt to me like there was one or two attacking players on the bench that you could say they should be starting, or if they come off, they're going to be a difference maker. They're going to offer something, that's not already on the pitch. They're a potential goal getter. They're a game decider, a game changer, sitting on the bench, waiting to be deployed. It's very tactical, very strategic. And I look at this current squad, and for large parts of my thought process, I was like, we don't really have that right now. With Gundogan gone, with Savio brought in, Oscar Bob might get more minutes. I'm still not sure we have that, heavy hitter off the bench that can come on and offer something. And a lot of you spoke a lot about Dani Olmo, who has done, by all accounts, an excellent job at the Euros, to be fair to him. Some people say they want him. Some people say they don't want him. I get why you would want him, because he is that kind of player that if he's starting, he'll do his thing starting. If he's coming off the bench, he could come on and score or assist. He's going to offer something. And then I think about it further, and I see the lack of concrete links, and I think about the nature of Manchester City Football Club and how kind of stubborn we are in terms of transfers. Danny Olmo, for me, isn't the kind of player that I think we would just leap at and pull the trigger on. I know he's got like a, £60 million release clause. And then I was thinking, right, well, what do we have to work with here? If the club, most of the noises coming out of the club are that, for the most part, we want to stick with the squad we have going into next season. I think it's pretty clear that we are going to go and try and find a Rodri backup, even though I don't think it'll be a backup. I think it'll be a versatile midfielder. But for the most part, we're going to stick with what won the league last season. I think that's fair enough. If Pep and the board have full confidence that the club or that the squad can continue its hunger levels and continue its performance levels, we as a fan base, we have to trust that. They know better than us. They know better than us. They deserve our trust and our respect in that decision. And I think, right, well, what could we see that's different? Because what does Pep do every single season that massively, helps our chances of retaining our crown? He does something different. Whether it's making a centre half a fullback or a wing back, whether it's making a midfielder a winger, whether it's making a centre half a midfielder, there's always something that you don't really expect, and you go, wow, this is new, this is inventive, and it's impactful. It's generally impactful. Maybe not from the start of the season. You're kind of going, I'm not too sure about this, but it ultimately makes sense come May. And the one that I've landed on, and I think is most likely, is Jack Grealish. I look at Jack Grealish and I think the disrespect he has got on his name currently, it's unwarranted, it's too heavy, and it's toxic. Why? Because he didn't get selected for the England squad, first of all. And now, in my biased opinion, I think England throughout the tournament could have done with him, but look, they're in a final, so it is what it is. And then, of course, the fact that he didn't feature as a main character in our fourth in a row winning team. Why? I think you have to look into it. Why? You can't just say, well, he wasn't really a main man of the team if you're a rival fan. Jack Grealish suffered a lot with injury last season, recurring injuries, coming back too early. Illness at one point kept him out in the middle of the season as well. He was clearly eager to play, but not putting his physical welfare first, which ultimately hindered his output and the amount of minutes he would play, and he fell out of favour. That's the way Pep works, because once we get towards the end of the season, Pep likes to kind of have the same men playing. Now, Jack Grealish, in the treble season, absolutely, we don't win the treble without Jack Grealish. I know a lot of the rival fans out there will go, oh, of course you would, Jet Haaland, blah, blah, blah. Grealish was pivotal in that treble run, and he looks like, to me, someone who's coming back with a vengeance, a fire in his belly, which is absolutely what I want to see. He's back training really early. He was back training before pre-season. He's in pre-season. He looks like he's working his socks off. I want Jack Grealish to be angry and to prove his doubters wrong, because there's always so many people looking to jump on Jack Grealish's back. People are always looking for an excuse and a reason to jump on Jack Grealish and discredit him and try and put him down, even though he's, I think, a really, really good footballer. And he's crucial. I think he's crucial to the way we have played the last 2 seasons. His first season was a bit, and he admits himself it was poor, but the treble season was the best we've seen, and I think we can see even better. How are we going to see even better? I think we are going to see Jack Grealish playing in a more central role. Not all the time, but quite a bit more than maybe we expect. I think we're going to see it a lot. I think Pep will consider Jack Grealish as a central option. And that links back to what I'm saying about different options, different types of players, because the only real central players we have in terms of actual attacking style players are Foden, De Bruyne, and Bernardo. But Bernardo spends most of his time out in the wing these days, doesn't he? I know you have Kovacic, who's, for me, slightly more defensive, and you have Nunez, who's very much an unknown quantity and could very easily be gone come the first time the ball is kicked this season. Jack Grealish, throw it back to the treble season, his best time. He spent some of his best periods during that season dropping deep, picking the ball up through the middle and running through the middle of the park. And he's a foul magnet, a player magnet, and he is creative when given the room and the license to. I think we're going to see a bit of that from Jack Grealish this season. And after that, it's just down to him. about what UC makes of that time. I have full faith that he's going to be a really, really top player again for us this season. I've never doubted him. I've understood the difficulties. I've understood some of you who aren't totally, excited by him or impressed by him. But I'm so sure there's a top footballer in there, and we've seen it. We have seen it, just not enough. More has to come. So I think a central role, Grealish beside De Bruyne, Grealish beside Foden, with Rodri behind, whatever. Because De Bruyne can't play every minute. He can't play every game. And it's also probably a lot to expect Foden to play up to 70 games next season. So we're going to need to be able to rotate and move it around. If you don't play Grealish centrally, in my opinion, then we're starting to look at the transfer market, going and buying a Dani Olmo or something like that. He's the most natural fit for a central player that's not currently playing centrally for us. So that is my wild card suggestion, even though it may not be the wildest of cards to some of you. I would like you to let me know your thoughts, though, down below in the comments and everything I said about the transfer window and about Jack Grealish predominantly, because it's been going through my head, you know? Not a lot goes through this head, but today Jack Grealish is, so big up to Jack Grealish. Hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and leave all your thoughts down below in the comments. In a bit.